Wow, welcome, Savvy. I'm so happy to have you here again. For those who are new to me, my name is Groen, and we are here with Savvy. And this is part of a series that we're doing on Lifewave Patches and our company that has incredible potential to heal humanity. Absolutely. And I've been on Lifewave Patches for 3 years, and finally I'm spreading the good news. So we're focusing. Yeah, I have goosebumps because it's incredible, because there's so many avenues that we can go with our conversation, Savvy. So
Yes.
we focus each show on one topic. And so this topic today is on, because I get this question all the time, what the heck is GHK copper peptide? So we are specifically sharing information about that peptide that is made in the body that is essential for so many things. And Savvy is an expert. And in fact, Savvy, could you share just a little bit of your background and your expertise before we go into our presentation? That would be perfect.
Yeah. Gosh, I'm so happy to be partnering with you with this stuff. I'm all about all things health, and I'm super open-minded about things. So I work with about, let's say, 30 different naturopathic type healers of the world out there, about 30 of them. And I study them all. And then, like a health detective, I take the best, leave the rest, because they don't all agree with each other. So in my own journey, I've become a detoxification specialist, and I use diet, herbs, minerals, enzymes, etc. here. And then I've also been a trainer, training people for corrective functional exercise, not to be a bodybuilder, but to be good for life, to hike the trail, to pick up the grandkids, etc. That type of training. Then I'm trained in massage. I work with essential oils. I am an iridologist lymphatically, so I can read the iris lymphatically to see what's going on in the body without cutting you open, right? I work with light frequency patches, which is energy medicine, which is you and me. That's what we do together. So I have a pretty wide background. I mean, there's a little bit more stuff than that too that I could add, but it's generally trying to become bulletproof because I'm studying just all aspects of health, right? And that's where you come and say with yoga. And I've said before with people, if I could only pick one thing, if I could pick training, Pilates, yoga, but I could only pick one, I'm probably going to pick yoga, because as people get older, they get stiffer, right? And we need to wring them out. And so I would go with a very hydrating diet and yoga, because, you know, people think yoga is just, let's do a few stretches. Yoga is not for sissies. When you do yoga correctly, it can be difficult.
Yeah, yeah.
You get sore from yoga like you worked out. So
absolutely.
Again, that's why I enjoy doing this with you, because yoga resonates with me and all things health. I get very nerdy about it. I want to know why. When somebody says, well, it does this, I will say, why? And then they'll say, well, because of this. And I'll say, but why? And it's like, dig, dig, dig.
Yep. And
Because
so
I don't just go, oh, okay, I'm going to listen to them and I just believe everything they say. I don't do that.
right. And that's why we are perfect partnership, because you do that nerdy part. I feel it within my own soul, and I'm like, I got it. I don't even need to, go into the reasons of why. I mean, I can tell you a perfect story. When I got introduced to the X39 patch, it was on my friend Heidi Johnson. Soon as she shared with me the information, and I was there with her, and she showed me where she put it, I said, I need that. I knew I needed that. There was no doubt. So then can you send me the link so I could purchase? It's so easy for me to feel the truth, is what I'm trying to say.
Yeah.
And the truth resonates, and you can feel the goosebumps, and you can feel the tingles. And so that aspect too, that intuition. And I want to share with you just a little bit about that yoga part. The first step to getting into that intuition and that resonance of truth is through the energetics of the body. And when you have clogged meridian lines, when they are full of stagnation and stress, you cannot get the antenna of awareness. So that's why the yoga and the stretching and the breath work and the meditation is key to that inner seeing, that inner awareness. I just wanted to plug that part of it. That's why it's steps.
That's a good angle you just brought out, because that shows you how yoga with the patches, they would work together, because we're talking about acupressure points and meridians and on which where we place patches.
Yeah.
And so if you can open up through yoga, then the patches are going to work better.
Yes,
actually.
Absolutely. And that goes with any chiropractic, with your acupuncturist, your massage therapy. All of that will work better when you have clear meridian lines.
That's right. Yeah. And that's where detox comes in, because detoxification is about removing obstructions. And so we want everything to flow. We can't have all these garbage toxicity dams blocking the flow throughout the body. So in my opinion, what we do is we clean you out, and then we rebuild.
Absolutely. Wonderful. Okay, I think we're ready now.
All right, we're ready. Want me to share screen?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yes, go ahead and share screen.
All right. Okay, so I did it this way so that I want to be able to see you, okay? I could go full screen, but I wouldn't see you. And I want you and I to do this together, okay?
All right. So, yes.
What we have here is on slide 1, what we have here is our subject. We're going to be talking about the GHK-cu, which is GHK Copper Peptides. Tripeptide, meaning 1, 2, 3 amino acids. So our subject is that, because you and I covered the X39 patch already. We covered the glutathione patch already. But now we're circling back really to X39 again, because we're going to get into the science of when you put the patch on your skin, what order do these things occur? And what people are going to realize is by the end is that our patch, which looks like a little Band-Aid, actually does more than a stem cell injection. And so now we're going to go through the steps. Okay, so GHK copper peptide, that's the subject of what we're doing here. All right, so let's talk about it. A peptide is one or more amino acids linked by chemical bonds. So the body, this is the genius of the body. The body can take 20 to 22 amino acids. Some people say 20, some say 22. I'm going to go with 22. 22 amino acids. It can take 22 aminos and build over 100,000 different proteins. Wow. And it does that almost like Legos. And so when the body absorbs amino acids, the body can take different combinations of aminos and different configurations to make different proteins, right? And that is the genius of that. So our job is to do what? Make sure we get all 20 to 22 amino acids. And in the case of GHK, we have these 3: glycine, histidine, lysine. Those are the 3 that make up the GHK. Now, what I did here in this presentation is I broke it down all the way. So now I'm going to take each individual amino and show you how important each one is by itself in the body. So when we talk about the brain, and you and I were discussing a particular client prior to this that maybe is struggling in this area, right? Not just her, hundreds of thousands to millions of people struggle in this area. So we have glycine is intimately involved in what? OCD, depression, anxiety, bipolar. It is specifically used by itself for schizophrenia treatment. Stroke therapies. It will lower the core body temperature so you can sleep. How important is that? No rest, no repair. If we get into cardiovascular health, it sends blood to the extremities, boosting nitric oxide circulation. What would that lead to if you don't have any circulations? To the end of the fingers and the end of the toes. Not good. And then metabolic health. Now, Collagen, building collagen and elastin, both. So as an example, you have children, I have children, I have grandchildren. And when I see a brand new, beautiful grandbaby, their skin is so beautiful. Beautiful. It's just wrapped there, not a wrinkle anywhere. You can grab it, it snaps right back with elastin. And then what happens as we age, right? So as we age, we can lose these things, and but there's a way to get it back. Maybe not all the way back to my grandbaby, but we'll get it back. Now, going back to OCD, depression, anxiety, etc. So what we see here is instead of a doctor diagnosing somebody and saying, you are bipolar, we could say, no, 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 no. You are low in glycine.
Right. Right.
That sounds better than you are this disease. No.
Yeah.
No, it's actually a nutrient deficiency. That sounds better, right?
Well, it makes sense. And the labels are just labels.
The labels are labels. That's why we don't even like to use their words. Okay, our second one, histidine, precursor to histamine, which acts as a neurotransmitter. Again, that would affect even possibly your mood. Balances histamine levels to help allergies, asthma, and seizures. So, how many people out there are on allergy medications, right? They're allergic every spring, every fall. Here we go. I have a friend who's allergic all year long. All 12 months, this guy has got problems. My eyes are itchy. My eyes are red. I'm sneezing. My gut. I'm not sleeping. I wake up with headaches. It's crazy, right? Now, I don't really know anybody I've ever talked to that knows this information on this next little section here. I learned about it from my studies. It's all I do is research.
I love it.
Histamine is used in the body to regulate water levels in severe dehydration.
Wow.
How many people are dehydrated?
Yeah, they're drinking water, but they're still dehydrated. It's not getting assimilated into the body correctly. Yes.
And what happens when all they drink is a pot of coffee, a pot of tea, Coca-Cola, Pepsi, Mountain Dew, alcohol? Is alcohol dehydrating? All day long, it's dehydrating. So you have people out there that will drink more alcohol and more coffee than water, right? Now think about it.
I think I need a glass of water. Hold on. No. No, here it is. Here it is.
And you know what? I blew it on not bringing my water in here. All I have is my coconut water right now.
But you know, another tip is you don't want to drink too much water before these things, because then you'll have to go to the restroom.
Well, then we'll just have to hit pause. Right? We'll have to hit pause because, you know, when you got to go, you got to go. But here's the thing. The body is so brilliant that it will use histamine to regulate what tiny little bit of water you got left in your body. But the symptom of that are the migraine headaches and the allergies and the asthma, etc. I knew 20 years ago that asthma was a water-related problem and a prostaglandin problem from low omegas. So in your body's Mini Cries for Water book, you're going to learn that. Our CEO, David Schmidt, with the patches, that is, always preaches drink more water with the patches.
Yep.
Now, what I like to do is, and what I recommend is you get your filtered water, add a tiny little bit of sea salt to that. And also, when it comes to minerals, people need to realize that potassium, in truth, the body is supposed to get 4,000 milligrams of potassium per day. Not 500 milligrams, not even 1,000, 4,000.
Right. And so that's the banana thing.
Oh, yeah. But you can't even, you'd have to eat 50 bananas. So, which Freely the Banana Girl does eat 50 bananas, but I'm just saying you'd have to eat a lot of bananas. So Dr. Berg has a very good potassium powder that doesn't have any sugar in it, and you can add it to your water and just get a little extra on top of the fact that we already recommend mineral.
We should put that in the show notes for sure, because I'm interested in that potassium.
Okay,
Supplement.
okay. Now, myelin sheaths, what are those? Those are the 100% built from cholesterol sheaths that cover your nerves so that your nerves fire correctly. But this is used in support of that to build myelin sheaths over the nerves. Primary function to regulate, metabolize trace elements like copper. Of course, trace does not mean less important than macro minerals. And then, of course, needed for red blood cell production, fights obesity by lowering insulin resistance, and protects us from UV damage from the sun. So that's histidine all by itself.
So we're on number 2 of the 3 peptide. So we are
number 2 of the 3. All right,
GHK peptide. This is the third
amino
acid. Just to clarify, so people are not lost. This is our third one.
So this is our third one, and we need 3 to build GHK.
Yes.
Lysine. Everybody's known forever that if you lack lysine and you happen to have herpes simplex 1 and 2 in your body, which produces the infamous cold sores, which show up on your lip, usually when you're under stress, you deplete the lysine because you're stressed out. And then boom, next thing you know, there's a cold sore. And then, of course, supposedly the UV light from the sun causes them to come out. And so does cold wind, etc. Well, just to let everybody know, Cistus tea from Sardinia, Italy, is extremely high in lysine. And so there's a side benefit to Cistus tea. It's used against the, well, I don't even know if I want to say it, but the so-called another horrible virus that they push out there.
Starts with a C.
Starts with a C. So Cistus tea is a strategy for that too. But in any event, lysine helps us to get our calcium in, reduce our blood pressure, helps with our gut health, our anxiety, and the gut and brain connection. Of course, leaky gut, leaky brain, as they say. The gut is the second brain. Some think it's the first brain. Helps to prevent cataracts. And in a 7-week study as regards muscle, it improved the strength of the muscle without increasing the size of the muscle. Isn't that interesting? So now, what is the difference between essential and non-essential? Help me out.
We need essential from food.
From food.
Yeah, non-essential can be assimilated, are constructed within the body itself. Essential amino acids are necessary to get in the food. So lysine is an essential amino acid that we need to get in food.
Got to get them in the food. And so when we talk about diet out there, and just this morning, I was studying about Dr. Weston Price, who was a dentist who went all over the planet looking at all the different populations out there to look at their mouths and their teeth, etc., their skulls and all of that. And a variety of different cultures did eat. Some were plant-based, but almost all of them did eat some type of animal products in order to get basically fat-soluble vitamins in their body, like the A and so forth. And the bottom line is that if you are a vegetarian and you don't eat, or a vegan, and you eat no animal-based products, then it's highly recommended that you supplement with an amino acid powder where you get them all, 20 to 22, and then we don't have to worry about it. You don't have to worry about mixing and matching your diet. Just toss the powder in your smoothie, you're good to go. The one I use is right here, Puridime's Life Essentials. That's the one I use. Ben Greenfield, the biohacker, he does Keon. And then Frank Schallenberger, who's the great-grandfather of anti-aging medicine, he uses Perfect Aminos. And that's just a couple of recommendations to make sure you're going to get lysine. All right, now.
Good. Yay, copper.
Copper, Cu, so GHK-cu, GHK Copper Peptides. Copper is a trace mineral. Does that mean it's less important? No. It's just as important as the big dogs, whether it's calcium, magnesium, or whatever. It's just a trace mineral. So it's smaller amounts, but just as important. In fact, copper is massively important. Can't even live without it. Helps build the neuron connections. So it's basically a brain food. Helps get our iron absorbed so we can have iron-rich blood so we have energy and deliver oxygen. And interestingly enough, years ago when I was studying minerals with Dr. Wallach, I did a presentation on the fact that bone matrix, you cannot even build without copper. So if you want to have strong bones, you have to have copper. Helps with SOD. What is that? Help me out.
You know, I never can remember what SOD stands for. I know that it's really, really good. So
we know that, well, it's not sod that we throw in the yard, right? So SOD
right.
is what we need with SOD is we got glutathione as the king. It's the king master antioxidant. SOD is coming in right behind it.
Oh, I should remember that from our
superoxide dismutase.
Yes. What is it? Say the words.
Superoxide dismutase.
Superoxide dismutase.
Massively important antioxidant.
Yes.
Helps activate adrenaline and dopamine, which dopamine is our happy transmitter. Helps to formulation of myelin sheaths. There we go again. Works closely with vitamin C to form collagen. How important is collagen?
It's everywhere in the body, inside and outside.
Number one protein in the whole body.
Yes.
Helps with graying hair. So if you see somebody that's not even 30 years old and they're graying up already, we are lacking copper.
Oh, wow. Yes.
We're lacking copper badly.
Yeah.
And what you see in these days is you do see gray hair starting earlier, and you see bald heads too, by the way, a lot of bald heads in very young men. There's a reason for that. Anti-inflammatory properties.
I know about this part, the anti-inflammatory, because people wear copper for their arthritis. And so this reducing the inflammation in the joints. So wearing copper, absolutely effective. Also, I wanted to share this aspect. When crystals are used in, energy healing, copper is an aspect of helping to move that crystalline energy healing modality. So copper is useful for crystal medicine as well.
Yeah, and so my buddy Kent Dunn, he sells copper cups for people to drink out of copper mugs to get a little extra copper. So again, doesn't mean it's less important. Everybody needs to keep in mind that minerals do work better as a team, kind of like B complex, rather than just B12 only. B complex, they're a team, just like the body's a team.
Yeah,
minerals are also a team. So it's better if you can get it from nature. Nature did it right in the right chemistry. But if you want to supplement with a little extra, just like with a little extra potassium, like we mentioned, you can do that. But once you get your levels right, it's better to go with the proper chemistry, 60 to 78 minerals together as a team.
right.
All right, now we're going to go into health benefits of GHK copper peptides. Reset on just did some bullets here. This particular book is a whole book by the man who discovered GHK copper peptides.
Excellent.
And there's a whole book just on the benefits of that. And we haven't even talked about genomes, and we have not talked about stem cells. All we're talking about is GHK copper peptides, which our patch elevates to get to stem cells. So we have a lot of benefits from something that looks like a Band-Aid. All right.
Yeah.
Resets 84 genes for cancer inhibition. GHK A1 nanomolar resets the programmed cell death in human cancer cells, which is apoptosis, which is the death of cancer cells because they don't want to die. They're kind of immortal in the sense that they like to live in low oxygen.
Right.
So oxygen is the kryptonite.
Yeah, nemesis to them.
And then, of course, we got SOD again. Damaged lung cells and COPD reverted to healthy. Reverted to healthy. not
Heals
replaced, not even replaced, reverted.
Yeah, heals them. That's amazing.
So then if I can develop COPD, then I can undevelop COPD. Increase healing in many tissues, including the skin, the stomach, the stomach lining, and the bony tissue. Now, how important is it to repair our gut?
Absolutely. This is where the root of health is. You get to root cause, you go to belly, and detoxification within the colon. So yes, absolutely.
That is where we absorb nutrients. That is where 80% of our immune system resides.
Absolutely.
Causes adult stem cells to produce more growth factors.
Yep.
Increase stem cell differentiation, meaning universal. They can become any kind of tissue.
Yeah. This is why it's so exciting. This is why the technology is so exciting, because stem cells are the precursor to all the cell differentiation. What we need goes exactly to what we need in the body.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And they know where to go. I liken them to what? Contractors. Reduces fibrin. What is that? That is clotting factors. That is scar tissue. So if we have too much fibrin in our blood, this is no good.
Yeah.
So we want to reduce fibrin. Hence, I also use even extra. I recommend Dr. Wong's systemic enzymes.
Right, right. I remember this from when I was working at the health food store. One of the key supplements that I used to recommend was Wobazyme for the reducing the inflammation and helping to heal the body. So
that's right. That's right.
Yeah,
that's right. So I'll give you a little impression of Dr. Wong when he's talking about fibrin building up in our body. He said, and Dr. Wong kind of talks with a really deep voice like this, and he says, now, if you did an autopsy on a very young man and you took out his liver and you sliced his liver in the autopsy, it would have the consistency of Jell-O. It would be soft and mushy and watery. But if I took an 84-year-old man's liver, it would be like a piece of French bread I left out on the counter for a week. Crusty, hard, dry,
fibrous. Yeah, got it. So that means that the fibrin has developed in the liver, and that does not help with the cardiovascular or the circulation in the liver. And we need malleable, soft fluidity. And that's what yoga is all about as well.
I started to say, now when people come to you, why do they come to you? Because they're stiff.
Yeah.
It's full of fibrin. They can't move. They have no range of motion.
Love it. Full circle. This is incredible. This is health from the inside out. Root cause.
From the inside out. That's what we do.
Yeah.
All right. GHK Copper Peptides and beauty. Tightens loose skin. That's elastin, like my grandbaby. Snap, right back it goes.
Yeah.
You don't want to pull it and it stays there for 2 minutes. Right? Thickens older skin. So how many old people have you seen their skin get so thin that they bump something and it hemorrhages?
Yeah, bruises.
It's tearing like paper. It's like paper.
Bruises all the time. Yeah.
Collagen protein makes up 25 to 35% of the whole body. It is the glue that glues you together. How many women had 7, 8, 9 kids? Their uterus, their bladder drops. What does a medical community want to do? Let's cut you open and go in and put mesh.
Oh, horrible. Yeah, not good.
No. We want to build the pelvic floor up with exercise and add collagen. We don't want to get cut on.
Yeah.
Skin, 75% collagen, tendons, 85, ligaments, 70, joint cartilage, 70, bones, 90. That's how important collagen is.
Yeah.
So not only do I use the patch, but I will do bone broth. I will do collagen powder. I will use amino acid powder because amino acids build proteins, and the number one protein is collagen. I'm not just depending on the patch. I'm depending on dietary too.
Absolutely, yes. Raw
But if I have a screwed up gut, what do I have a problem with?
assimilation. Yeah. You can put in all the raw materials, but if your assimilation is skew, then you're not going to be building and renewing like we need to.
So it's not you are what you eat, you are what you absorb.
Yes.
And that's why when we use our patches, guess what we bypass? The GI tract.
Yeah, we bypass that. It's right through the skin. Amazing. Yeah.
Okay, beauty. Reduces skin sunspots, protects the skin from UV radiation. We already talked about that. Increases the hair growth, thickness at the hair shaft, because when your hair turns gray, it gets thinner at the shaft. And why is it getting thinner and why is it turning gray? Lack of copper, lack of circulation. So when you do yoga and you invert, what do you get? Circulation to the head.
And just a forward fold is a inversion, putting your head below. Yes.
Reduces wrinkle depth. My brother, right here on his forehead,
From the
has these
really
really deep ones. I mean, you could stick a nickel in there, really deep. And so if we can start to close these things up, you know, it just, from a beauty standpoint, it just looks better. Reduces scar tissue internally and externally. We've had some testimonials of people that just had surgery and you can already see it drying that scar up. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Well, I have direct testimonial on that using the X39 patch stretch marks. I have dark skin has a tendency to have stretch marks and tons of them on my belly. And I've been using it for 3 years. Very smooth. It hasn't eliminated them completely, but the texture is smooth.
What about topically? Have you tried peptides topically as well?
I haven't.
Because they have them in a lot of, you know, if you can find a good, clean product that has peptides in it. Ben Fuchs, who I used to work with, Ben Fuchs, and also Dr. Ben Johnson, who works with frequency medicine too, by the way. He has frequency waters that you can drink and frequency sprays.
Interesting. You are just a wealth of knowledge. We're going to have to put some of these links in our show notes for sure.
Oh, yeah. Ben Johnson and Ben Fuchs have peptides in the product that you can now go topically as well. And then, of course, core exercises, again, to tighten everything too, right?
Got that covered.
Which you got that covered. So, all right. This is one. Okay. All right. Let's go with conventional therapies versus going internally as nature intended. Do we want to go conventional? Let's do a comparison. Laser resurfacing. You've heard of that? Like almost using lasers on the skin that maybe are hot lasers, heat damage to the dermal proteins. That doesn't sound very good. Possible skin stem cell damage. That's not good. Possibility of scarring. Well, that's not what I went in for. Discoloration, hyperpigmentation. None of that is what I want as a side effect. How about you?
No, thank you. And plus it's painful. All of that is painful.
What about these deep chemical peels? I don't want to deal with this.
Absolutely painful.
I'm not putting chemicals on my skin. Pain requires anesthesia. Risk of heart failure. That's no good. I look better, but I'm dead.
Oh my gosh. Oh yeah. And this is not good. This slide is scary.
High risk of discoloration. That's not low risk. That's high risk. Poisoning of skin cells. Are you crazy? Permanent sensitivity to UV rays? No, I'm not going to use an umbrella everywhere I walk. So this is a comparison of how crazy, but I'll tell you, people are they're so into trying to be beautiful at all costs. If they have a lack of scientific knowledge of health, they will go to these places. We have entire clinics devoted to this stuff right here, and it's not cheap either.
And I'm just not happy with the what am I trying to say is being beautiful on the inside is the most important, and not to worry about what the outside is. This is the true being okay with what is.
So
And
it's kind of like this.
yeah,
Somebody a long time ago said to me, can you define love? And I'm like, define love? Oh, there's so many things I could say here. He said, okay, accurate knowledge of somebody. The more accurate knowledge you get of this person and you get to know them more and more and deeper, all of a sudden, just like you just said, regardless of their physical structure, they now to you, they're beautiful.
yeah.
Period.
The essence.
Period.
I love that. Yes.
Period. Because you've seen people like if you just looked only straight physical, you're like, what is she doing with him? Why is that beauty with this geeky little librarian look? Well, it's because of what's inside.
Yeah. It's the
Right, if you can get both, great.
Beauty on
Get both, great.
Okay. So
All right, now more conventional comparisons. Nerve
Okay.
toxins. Everybody knows what Botox is. Blocks nerve stimulations of skin muscles, poisons the skin nerves, disturbs their function, can travel to the brain, causing chronic headaches.
Wow.
No. Can cause drooling mouth and dropped eyelids. I don't think so.
No.
Now, if somebody went in and you got Botox like that, and next thing you know, it looks like you got Bell's palsy or a stroke, will they give you a reimbursement, and does it even matter? Doesn't even matter at this point. Can create emotionless expression. So if you want to be a zombie and you want to take that chance and you go in and sign off for the zombie look, then you could get that. Surgical facelift. How many of these are done in, say, Hollywood or Hollyweird, as some people say? Surgical removal of the loose skin, very painful, long recovery, unnatural tightening of the skin, possibility of keloids. No.
Yeah.
No, I'm not doing that.
I'm just don't. The underlying reason why a lot of people do this is because of the insecurities, and they're not feeling secure in their self and worth and ego and all of that. So this is not a good thing. This is part of our illness, our mental illness and self-worth and love. So yeah.
That's right. And so you have to think for yourself. Your opinion is none of my business. All right. So that's one of my expressions. Your opinion is none of my business. So your opinion to me is none of my business. And then, so we have to get out of that. Just like you just said, we're not conditioned by a magazine on how I'm supposed to look. So,
right. And so besides, I know we're on a tangent, but besides the physical of the copper peptide, it helps the mental anxiety, and it can, in a roundabout way, help build confidence and reduce anxiety. That will eliminate all of that other crap that they want to go in and give themselves a shot for the face to be a zombie. Right?
That's right.
Okay.
Yeah, because
full circle.
Yeah, because ultimately, everything is going to go back in our world. Everything is going to go back to a nutrient deficiency or a level of toxicity, one or the other, or both. Typically both. You have too many toxins, not enough nutrients, and these types of things like PTSD, anxiety, sleep disorders, etc. That's how they come about, because health is actually normal.
Yeah.
Normal life is to be healthy. Okay. But the powers that be in this world have got everything running through pipelines of pharmaceuticals and surgeries and burn, poison, kill, this type of thing. And so we're here to bring the good news, that the good news is it doesn't have to be that way. There is another way. It works a lot better, and it's a lot less money too.
Yeah.
In fact, the way to health is much, much cheaper, with or without insurance, than the other way. Way cheaper. All right, now, X39 stem cell activation patch does what? Elevates GHK copper peptides.
Which is what we just covered, all the 3 peptides and the benefits to the body of what GHK is. So,
yep, and copper.
And copper, right.
Copper regulates up or down over 4,100 of the genes, like a piano tuning. Ta's genes get regulated this way, mine get regulated that way. We both get regulated depending on what we need, like a piano tuning. Activates and mobilizes pluripotent. And what does pluripotent mean? Universal stem cells.
All right. I love that word. Thank you.
Stem cells are like contractors. We talked about that. But if you're working with me, I'm going to want you to have bricks and boards for your contractors, which are going to be raw materials like what? Amino acids and minerals. Those are the 2 things that are absolute must. Okay. Stem cell injections. When I interviewed David Schmidt, the inventor of these patches, I specifically asked him this question because I wanted to know it, even though it's a large podcast, a lot of people on there. And I said, David, do the stem cell injections elevate GHK copper peptides? No, they do not. Do the injections reset 4,100 of the genome? No, they do not. Oh, so then the shot at $7 grand each does not do as much as my little magical Band-Aid. No, it does not. So I'm getting a 3 for 1 for pennies on the dollar.
Yep.
Lifewave stem cell activation cell patch does all of that. And that, Ta, completes this presentation.
Excellent.
I'm going to stop sharing now.
Okay. Wonderful presentation. Thank you. I did learn a few different things.
Well, nobody knows it all, right? So we learn from each other.
Yep.
And you bring skills that I don't have, and vice versa, right?
Absolutely. Absolutely. So, wow. That brings me to our next thing. What's your next thing for today?
Oh, let's see. I think possibly next one we'll go into, I have a slide presentation built already on why is health important, which is like a duh. But when Marcy asked me to build that, I did. And, but I went deeper. Why is health important? I went quite a bit deeper on that. Economically too. And then we have,
exciting. That sounds really good. So that will be our next thing, to go over I mean, it's obvious, but I bet you pull in some things that I didn't know.
well, you know, it's funny because
interest to the topic.
yeah, I mean, it's kind of like nobody gets away. It's sort of a pay now or pay later thing. Like if I join your classes, but I don't go, I bought them, but I don't go to them, I don't show up, then I'm going to just get stiffer and stiffer. If I do go, I'm going to cause and effect, get looser and looser, more range of motion, less pain, less inflammation, less toxicity, because I'm squeezing it out via yoga. So it's a cause and effect. And so when somebody says, why is health important? Well, there's a lot more to that than that little question.
All right.
When you really think about it and you put them in the hot seat, and you're like, look, bro, there's no getting away here.
Right. And it's the foundation, yes. But once we build that foundation, and there's vitality and alertness and this creative pulse that comes into the body, then there's so much possibility and evolution and service. All of that becomes the purpose of being a human.
It's true.
Yeah.
And that's what it is. I mean,
yeah.
What we do here, for me, it's my ministry. This is what I do, is my ministry,
Yeah.
right?
So foundation, but then from that foundation, there's that service that that comes about, and that's what makes the heart sing, you know. That's
Absolutely.
yeah.
And it's joyful because when you help folks like you do get out of pain, able to move again without surgery, and if we do it without surgery, you just save them thousands and thousands and thousands of dollars in surgery.
It makes me so emotional because it's really simple, but it's the habits, it's the commitment, it's the focus to want to make your health a priority and use the tools that we are offering so that you can make that investment in yourself. So absolutely. I mean, I'm on the same page as you, and this is why we're doing this. So yeah.
You know, what's funny is even in scripture, like say, for example, Jesus is during his ministry, crowds of people would follow him for like two things, whether they were interested in his spirituality or not. Physically, they were following him, hoping for what? That he would feed them and that he would heal them of their sicknesses.
Right.
Leprosy, blind, deaf, whatever. And then he heals them, and they might not even follow him anymore. They were after that. But it just goes to show from a basic level that they wanted to be healed.
Yep.
Well, what we're doing here is we're educating people in what I call doctoring yourself from A to Z. And so we do these, and people watch them, they get education.
And hopefully get excited that you can do this for yourself, and that it is that simple, and the tools are within healing from the inside out and going to the root cause. Absolutely.
Yeah, my tagline has always been education, not medication.
Right.
Be a person, not a patient. Right? Those are the two taglines. I used to put that on my card when I was a trainer.
All right.
Education, not medication.
Trainer. All right. Savvy, I have places to go and people to see.
All right, go help them.
So much. And I don't know. I always want to say one last thing. What do you want to close on? Any last words of, I mean, we've been doing words of wisdom, but any last like couple sentences?
Yeah, just everybody needs to remember that the real currency of life is your time. And so you want to have more time, not necessarily more money, more time, but quality though, right? So if we're going to be like the blue zone people that regularly live to be over 100 years old, we have to copy what they're doing. And it's the stuff we're talking about right here. And so I guess you and I have decided we'll go with why is health important next. And we'll do that one next.
Why is health important next? Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, we'll do that next.
And that time aspect is so true. So if you've watched this entire presentation, then I honor you and I thank you for taking the time to watch both Savy and I hope to see you in the next video.
We'll see you in the next one. Okay, I'm going to let you hit stop recording.
Okay.